Hello, fellow seeker. Welcome to the WordScaper, your quiet corner for gentle reflections, a sanctuary where we can pause and truly listen. Today, we turn our gaze towards the intricate, often bewildering tapestry of our lives, and we ask a quiet, aching question that resides in the depths of many hearts. What do we do with the shattered dreams, the lingering regrets, the unforeseen losses, and the painful setbacks that life inevitably brings? We enter this world with an unspoken hope for a seamless existence, a linear path of smooth progression, where successes build upon one another, and challenges are merely temporary detours quickly overcome. We often idealize a life free from cracks, free from tears, a perfectly woven fabric without a single frayed edge. We yearn for wholeness to mean unbrokenness, believing that a truly meaningful life must be pristine, untouched by the rough edges of sorrow or the sharp cuts of loss. We tell ourselves that strength lies in resilience that prevents any tearing, and that wisdom blossoms in a garden untroubled by storms. But the truth, perhaps, is far more complex, far more beautiful, and far more human than this pristine ideal. Life, in its raw, authentic unfolding, is rarely a straight line. It is stitched together from contradictions, from glorious triumphs and agonizing failures, from unexpected fragments and painful detours that leave us feeling utterly undone. The deepest beauty, the most significant meaning, is often found not in never being torn, but in learning how to weave again. Picture life itself as a great ancient loom. It stands vast and timeless, its strong, steady frame holding the warped threads, perhaps the fundamental truths of existence, the unyielding laws of the universe, or the inherent potential within each of us. And time, the silent, ceaseless weaver, moves its shuttle, intermingling countless threads into the fabric that is our experience. Each experience we encounter, each moment we live, is a thread. Some are vibrant with joy, bright with hope, smooth with success. Others might be dull with routine or frayed with exhaustion. Some are thin with fleeting pleasures, while others are thick with deep connections. And then, there are the broken threads, the ones that snap under strain, the ones that become tangled in unforeseen knots, the ones that simply disappear from the pattern, leaving a gaping void. We are not just passive observers at this loom. We participate in the weaving, holding some threads with care, dropping others, sometimes even pulling at them until they break. We are part of this grand, ongoing creation, even when we feel utterly lost within its intricate design. Now, let us face these threads, these raw materials of our existence. Life gives us a bewildering array, the tender, sun-kissed threads of childhood innocence and first loves, the strong, vibrant threads of burgeoning careers and passionate dreams, the shimmering threads of unexpected blessings and deep friendships. But then, there are the threads we didn't ask for, the frayed, sharp strands of betrayal that cut deep, the dull, heavy cords of immense loss that leave us breathless, the tangled messes of failure that whisper inadequacy, the coarse, rough textures of trauma that leave indelible marks, the insidious, unseen threads of shame that weave themselves through our sense of self. What do we do with these moments? What do we do with the parts we didn't choose? The diagnosis that shattered a future, the betrayal that broke a trust, the failure that humbled our pride, the grief that tore our world apart. Consider an individual who poured their entire identity into their profession. For years, their professional title was their defining characteristic, the golden thread in their perceived tapestry of success. Then, abruptly, the thread snapped. A company restructure, a layoff that felt like a personal demolition. They lost their job, and with it, they felt they lost their sense of self. The immediate sensation was one of unraveling. All the careful stitches of their self-worth seemed to pull apart. The days stretched long and empty, filled with the echo of a life that no longer existed. Shame whispered in their ear, telling them they were a broken, useless thread. For a long time, all they could see was the gaping hole where that vibrant thread once was. They were in the painful middle of the unraveling, convinced that their tapestry was ruined beyond repair, destined to be discarded. When we are in these moments of unraveling, it feels like everything is coming apart. The threads feel useless, discarded. We want to cut them away entirely, to pretend they never existed, or to simply abandon the loom altogether. We might try to mend them with flimsy, temporary solutions, or stuff them deep into the fabric, hoping no one will notice the bulge. This initial phase, this raw confrontation with brokenness, is often defined by a deep sense of confusion and a desperate search for meaning that feels utterly absent. The pattern we thought we were weaving has dissolved into chaos, and we cannot fathom how these broken pieces could ever contribute to something beautiful again. But what if meaning isn't pre-written, a blueprint we simply follow? What if instead meaning is something entirely different, something hand-woven, created from the very act of living, of enduring, of mending? The loom, this vast canvas of life, does not discard threads, even the broken ones. Every single thread counts, for its presence, its texture, its very break, informs the whole. It shapes the space around it, influencing how the adjacent threads lay, how the light catches the surface. Think of the ancient Japanese art of Kintsugi, where broken pottery is repaired with lacquer dusted or mixed with powdered gold, silver, or platinum. The philosophy behind Kintsugi is that breakage and repair are part of the history of an object, rather than something to disguise. The cracks are not flaws to be hidden. They are highlighted, illuminated with precious metals, making the repaired piece even more beautiful, more unique, and more valuable than it was before. The wound itself becomes a testament to resilience, a mark of strength, a source of aesthetic wonder. In this way, our own broken threads, our moments of trauma and loss, are not meant to be concealed in shame. When illuminated by reflection and woven with intention, they can become the golden veins in our own evolving tapestry, showcasing not a lack of perfection, but the remarkable beauty of our endurance and our capacity for healing. A tapestry, when viewed from the back, can look like an utter mess. A tangled chaos of knots, loose ends, and seemingly disconnected threads. It's impossible to discern any coherent image, any grand design. But step back, walk around to the front, and suddenly, a magnificent picture emerges. The very knots that seemed chaotic from behind are precisely what hold the intricate patterns in place. The seemingly random colors contribute to a vibrant scene. Perhaps our lives are like this. When we are in the thick of our pain, when we are up close to the broken threads, all we see is the mess, the confusion, the disarray. But from the front, from the perspective of time and reflection, a story, a pattern, a significant meaning begins to emerge. Even the frayed edges add texture and depth, a testimony to the life lived, the battles fought, the growth achieved. Let's consider another reflection. An individual who, after years of struggling with addiction, hit rock bottom, losing their family, their job, everything that defined them. They were at the point of complete unraveling. For them, starting over wasn't a choice. It was an absolute necessity. The threads of their old life were not just broken, they were scorched. Yet, in the long, arduous process of recovery, of facing their demons, of rebuilding their life thread by painful thread, they discovered an important purpose. Today they guide others through their own struggles with addiction, sitting with them in their darkest moments, a beacon of hope born not from absence of brokenness, but from having navigated its very depths. Their empathy, their insights, their ability to connect with others in their raw vulnerability are all woven directly from the broken, seemingly ruined threads of their past. The chaos of their unraveling became the pattern of their compassionate service. Their story is a living testament to Rumi's timeless wisdom. The wound is the place where the light enters you. Their journey of healing wasn't about erasing the wound, but about allowing the light of understanding and purpose to shine through it. When we are too close to our own experience, when we are caught in the raw immediacy of pain or confusion, all we can truly perceive is the mess. The individual broken threads fill our entire field of vision. It's like standing with your nose pressed against a vast, intricate tapestry. All you see are individual stitches, a jumble of colors, a chaos of knots. There is no discernible pattern, no overarching beauty. But time, reflection, and presence, these are the steps that allow us to gracefully step back from the loom. With distance, something remarkable begins to emerge. The seemingly random dots connect. The disparate threads converge. The chaotic fragments begin to form a coherent image, a story, a weighty pattern that was invisible from our immediate, painful vantage point. This perspective reveals that our pain, our failures, our losses, they are not discarded fragments of a ruined life. They are, perhaps, the darker, more textured threads, waiting to be woven into a larger, as yet unfinished, narrative. Perhaps that deep sorrow was necessary to awaken immense compassion. Perhaps that unexpected detour was essential to lead you to a path you never knew existed. Perhaps that shattering experience was the only way to break through a limiting belief that held you captive. It may not feel beautiful yet. It may still feel raw and unresolved. But it is not meaningless. It is part of a grander design, a testament to your endurance, your learning, and your capacity for transformation. Ultimately, this understanding reminds us that we are not here to make everything perfect, to weave a flawless fabric devoid of any blemish or break. That is an impossible and ultimately sterile ambition. We are here, rather, to stay present at the loom, to keep weaving, even when the thread breaks, even when our hands tremble, even when the pattern feels utterly lost. The beauty of our lives, the true meaning we seek, lies not in escaping the breakage, but in the courageous, continuous act of reweaving. The core essence is found not in the final, perfect outcome, but in the integrity of the process, in the willingness to show up, thread by thread, day by day, even when the colors are muted and the knots feel stubborn. The act of trying again, of picking up the broken thread and finding a new way to integrate it, of choosing to continue the creation, that, in itself, is the meaning. You don't need to erase your past to make your life beautiful. You just need to weave with it. The tears, the laughter, the triumphs, the heartbreaks, all of it is raw material for the magnificent tapestry that is your unique existence. Each broken thread, illuminated by the gold of your enduring spirit, adds depth, texture, and an undeniable richness that a flawless fabric could never possess. Your story is not defined by its breaks, but by how you choose to mend them, by the new patterns you dare to create. Thank you for joining me on this reflection here at the WordScaper. May you find peace in the presence of your own loom and discover the profound beauty woven into every thread of your remarkable life. Until our next quiet conversation, keep listening, keep weaving, and keep trusting the emerging pattern.